Hello, I'm Todd Gatewood, and I'm here to talk with you about the Patterson Gimlin film. That's why we're here, right? It is the most watched piece of film on the planet Earth, next to the Zapruder film. It may be surpassing it. Who's to say? It's 1 minute long. It's amazing, eh? I want to say thanks first, though, to everybody that's tuned in. Thank you guys so much. It really does help the algorithm if you share the video, if you like the video. Give me a comment, tell me where you're from. I'm curious. If you have any input, leave me a message. I let everybody know at the beginning of this how to get a hold of me, so you know my email. So I am accessible to you. I do read the comments, so stay nice. Now, but thank you for showing up and watching. The proceeds of this channel will go to help the Hoopa Reservation Youth Scholarship Fund. So I was reviewing my last video and I noticed that my dyslexic self had left a couple things out that I wanted to touch on. And so I appreciate you guys checking in with me here today, and we can just solo out on that kind of stuff. There was a lot to unpack in the other video, and so this one can be a little bit more focused on some of this stuff. You know, there's so much to say, and there's so many aspects of all this that I want to tell you guys about, and it may seem like I am, you know, windier than a sack of farts. Damn! It's true. So, but hang with me. That's why you're here. And, you know, I do hear the people out there that want to say negative things, you know, about the Patterson film or Roger Patterson. Well, I'm going to say this. Roger Patterson was a filmmaker, and this journey is about that. Now, if you want to come tell me that I'm wasting my time, there's no scientific evidence and these sort of things, you know, I understand where you're coming from. I know how you were raised, probably in a loveless home, but I'm here to encourage you. Critics, skeptics, naysayers, just bored individuals. I want you to take those thoughts and I want you to hold them in your hand. I want you to close your eyes. Now smack the shit out of yourself, would you?
Bye, Felicia.
There's a lot to this restoration process. Even the condition of the film that I'm dealt with, it's horrible. But that's a whole other episode on its own. I have touched on that. If you can go back and look at it, I talk about the edges, how it's broken. But I'm going to show you some of that here again, and I'll show you kind of what I want to do when I'm getting things balanced with it, how film deteriorates, and these sort of things. So let's take a look at this first part, and I'm going to narrate what I'm thinking about it, and so you can go on this journey with me. Here we go. So what we're looking at here is one of the frames from the Patterson film that I've enlarged so it would fill up your entire screen. I wanted to make sure that it's not a screen grab so you can see this TIFF file. Now when I archived this, I used the best quality camera known to man, and it still is, and I captured each frame in TIFF format. They're approximately 350 megabytes, as they said. This is how that frame, one of those frames, looks. I did use, as I've mentioned, diffuse lighting. Most people, all the other versions have used incandescent lighting, which highlight the problems in the film and the physical flaws, whereas my method of using the diffuse lighting with no heat is the most modern, up-to-date method, just like the Europeans use, and it doesn't, it really kind of makes those blemishes go away. So what we're looking at here is a very large file. And when I see this, I don't see it really the way you do. I really don't see color. I see content. And I know that within this image, there is so many things that we're just not seeing with our eyes. The computer sees it. You think this image is soft, and it is. It's a TIFF file, but when it's compressed into another format, it's beautiful. It's absolutely sharp and tight. And what's happened is, over time, this film, particularly the physical copy, it's dying, it's going away, and it will never be here. When I'm done with this project, I will print this film back to 16 millimeter so it can be studied in that format. I'll use an Aeroflex laser printer, as well as giving digital copies to 3 different organizations that will hold it for future reference. Now, back to this frame. I say I don't see color, and I really don't, because I'm used to dealing with this. I have so much experience with it. But what you're seeing is a very red film, and what's happened is when 16 millimeter 1967 Kodachrome 2 film turns red, it's because of color fading, and it's a process where the cyan and yellow dyes in the film's emulsion deteriorate, and it leaves the magenta dyes as the dominant color. And this results in the reddish hue in the scanned image here that you see. I say scanned, I don't really like that term. You should never try to do anything archival on a scanner. There's much more sophisticated methods. Running one through a production service, by the way, is not professional. So, now with Kodachrome's unique process, the Kodachrome film is known for its longevity, and it works by having multiple layers that respond to different colors. And during development, dyes are added to these layers to create a final image. It happens in 3 stages. Over time, the chemical dyes in the film fade or decay, and it happens when it's exposed to light, heat, or humidity. This particular copy was stored under a truck seat for years. I have no idea how DeHenden handled it. We're going to get to looking at some frames down the road here in our discussion. I'll show you this super poor quality and what I've had to overcome and fix it. So, but anyway, in Kodachrome film, it's not uncommon for the cyan dyes and the yellow dyes to fade at a faster rate than the magenta. And as those cyan and yellow dyes diminish, the image loses its original color balance and takes on a reddish or magenta cast because the magenta dye is just more prominent. So this adds mud to the picture. And because it's muddy, you guys lose definition and clarity. For each bit of this that I can change up and fix, it's gonna appear clearer and sharper and more stable just by getting these colors right. So that's the commentary on why this film is red, and how I'm fixing it is pretty straightforward. It's just, anyway, it's a common process. I'm not here to be a teacher as much as try to explain a few things. To go in depth over this, I just don't have 30 years to dump it all out. So, but anyway, now that we've looked at this picture, let's look at what we want to achieve with this picture. And I'm going to base it on this picture. This picture, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful picture, beautiful frame, is the benchmark. So we want the colors to match entirely throughout the film with this one. So without doing anything to the film, this is what levels we can begin to approach. So now what we see here is close. Now, it is for your example only. It's not right. And what I mean is, I wouldn't go through this effort or have anyone go through the effort to do any kind of this sort of thing because the base image is still so dirty. If you'll notice, there's some light spots over by the log. You'll see these, it looks kind of like bluish phantom tint in there. That's the correct color. Everything else is a layer of yellow murk. There's also scratches in there. Okay, there's some warpage on this frame, and there's some shrinkage. So it's not fixed yet. It's not ready to have its color done. I'm doing this to show you guys part of the process. So it's bringing you in on the inside. I want you to visit with me here in my laboratory and see what's going on. There's so many questions, and I normally wouldn't do this at all. It's an out of sync process, but it's necessary to help you guys and help everyone get on board with what's going down here. Another thing is, because the frame is in such crummy shape, every single photograph was viewed on a 32-inch monitor and then manually focused on Patty. And this is different than most people. No one's done that. What they generally will do is focus on one of the sprocket holes and run the whole thing, or photograph it, or scan it, whatever you want to call it, whatever they want to call it. That's no bueno, folks. You can't do that. I rehearsed this dance for over a year daily, and one thing I knew is this film is shrunken, warped, and deformed, and doing that would not yield the best image. The best image is in this is the figure, Patty, the Sasquatch people. So each frame was focused upon her. Now there's corrections that I'm going to be making to the frames, each frame. That'll fix all that. And some of it, by the nature of the way it's photographed, is just going to be somewhat out of focus. Remember, the point here is not to, in archiving, is not to create some falsified image that is beyond anything capable of the day. Roger Patterson was a filmmaker, and as his buddy through time, I'm going to make sure, and we're going to make sure, his film looks the absolute best that it can be. All right? So that's the goal. So that's to bring it up to perfection. And to go beyond that wouldn't be historically correct or scientifically correct. We want to do this for all posterity, particularly because the dream team working on this is never going to get assembled again. And as mentioned, you're going to find out who they are. You definitely know all their works. So stay tuned. Now, let's go and talk about this. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is we're going to talk about some select frames, some process. You know, you guys have been good. I'm going to probably roll a little video, and it won't be something you've seen before. Stay tuned. Here we go. Let's take a look-see. On the left side of the screen, coming in not so good, is the Patterson film. As it sat in the can with a little bit of help to lighten the image, you can see that the money shot, the best frame of the whole entire film on this copy, this physical copy, is broken. And it's broken right across Patty's upper chest. It'd make most people sick, but I understood the capabilities of the software and myself and what can be done. So take a look on the right side of the screen. And that is, by the way, those, you see the sprocket holes and that squiggly marks there. That is Rene Dehenden's etchings. Now, on the right side of the screen, that's a fixed frame. That's 352 on the left, but what you see on the right has been fixed. And let me tell you how it was fixed. The computer can see through that dark crack on the left. You can still see her face. The computer can see, because I photographed it with such giant files in the best way possible. It can see what's going on through that crack. But the software can also see what's on the frame before and after that. And then when prompted, we'll put those images together, all that information, and what you see is on the right side of the screen. It's healed up. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. Let's take a look, I think, here. I'll rock it back and forth over the left side and show you a little bit of what the original looks like, just ripped up and crappy. All right? Okay, here we go. Y'all haven't seen this. It's a soft, unimproved image of the original that I'm working with. And let me show you where it's all broken up. Don't get harsh on the quality or how soft it is. It's a working deal here, guys. So here we go. Boom. Sickening, eh? Sickening. Can you believe it? Yep. And the color shifts dramatically after that. You can see right there going to it. I actually think it's two different pieces of film put together. So you see her here moving, and then you're going to see it. Boom. There you go. And here she continues. I'll rock it back a little bit, back and forth here. And then I'm going to come up here and we'll show you what it looks like, all nice and fixed, at least for a working copy. So here we go. Y'all haven't seen this before. It's not color corrected at all. It's just to show you that the broken frame is fixed. And right there you saw a little piece of emulsion pop up that's missing. But I want to rock it back and forth so you can see here. No tear. No broken frame. That is a piece of emulsion that's fallen off. If I zoom in, you can see the layers under it. Easily fixed, but that's not what this frame is about. It's about showing you the difference in the tear, and you don't see it at all. And that's just one of the little things. You can see a lot of little things popping up. It's just in terrible shape. But even what we've reworked off this is amazing. It's just phenomenal. But no, there's no tears. And not fully balanced. It's not, there's so much that hasn't been done to this, but I wanted to show you guys. You've been hanging with me here. So you can kind of see here, we're going to see Patty, but you know, she walks away into our memories after this. It's awesome. All right. So, hey, thanks for sticking around and tuning in. There's more to come. You know, I may talk to people from time to time on this channel. It's something I want to do. I've met a lot of people. I've met a lot of you. I've talked with a lot of you. So I may bring some of you on the show. I have that prerogative. It is my channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. Keep positive. Stay positive. Do something nice for someone, all right? And have a great and safe holiday. Thank you.